It's your girl Jazz. Hi, love, how y'all feeling? And welcome back to Forever Brown channel. So today is going to be all about how my labor and delivery went, and why not do it a couple days after labor and delivery, especially considering that I know myself and I know that if I wait longer, then I may miss a couple details or just may not really remember to insert and tell you guys about them. She's smiling right now. But anyway, so I'm like, I'm gonna get myself together, get her together, and then I'm gonna make this video. Right now we're in our room, we're chilling. Babe should be coming back shortly, and we'll probably have my in-laws will probably be here later on, so it's just a great time to go ahead and do it. Plus my doctor and nurses have already come in for the 100th time to check us and stuff like that. So while I know nobody's gonna come in right now, I'm like, let me go ahead and do it. So if you guys have been following us, or following me for the last 10 weeks, you know that I was doing a bump update. I was keeping you guys up to date with how pregnancy was for me and all of that good stuff. And then towards the end of my going into my ninth month, I shared with you guys that she had started measuring early, like a week or so early. Whoop. I felt like she also she had gotten a position pretty early. I was having a lot of pressure down there pretty early, all that good stuff. So I'm thinking that she was going to be here a little bit early. Again, if you've been following us, you know that she was a couple days late, but you will also know that I still did not have to get my induction. So let's pick up from there, because that's going to be important about how my labor and delivery went. So because I passed my due date, I went ahead and scheduled an induction. Y'all know at that point I was just over it. Like, I was literally over it. My body was over it and all that good stuff. And again, because I had mentally prepared myself for her to be here a little bit early, being late was like really affecting me. I was just like, this is crazy, So my induction was scheduled for actually tomorrow, which is crazy. My induction was scheduled for tomorrow. But my grandmother was like, she's gonna come before your induction. And then my father-in-law said the same thing. So there was still some people in our immediate family that was like, no, Jazz, I'm pretty sure she is going to come before your induction. And I was just like, well, hopefully so, because at that point in time, I was just over trying things and trying stuff and like, I was just over it or whatever. And I was just like, I don't want to put any expectations on her coming sooner than my induction, because I have already had I've already had expectations for that to happen. It didn't happen, and it kind of leaves you kind of sad or just feeling some type of way. You already pregnant, so you already dealing with just a lot of hormonal things. So I was just like, I don't have no expectations. So I went to my doctor's appointment on Thursday. Like I said, we scheduled the induction. On Friday, my husband and I, we went to the movies, I think, or was that Saturday? Yeah, I think we went on Friday or whatever. Yeah, we went to the movies on Friday, and then on Saturday, we walked around the mall because we had to get him a outfit to match her going home outfit or whatever. So we went to the mall, and then we stopped by Nando's to get lunch or whatever. Now, what I had was spicy, so some people may be like, oh, that did it, but no, not for, I don't believe that either. Then fast forward, we got home. So Saturday night, we're at home, and I'm taking my braids down. We get home around 5 p.m. So we get back home around 5 p.m. I'm taking my hair down because my braids, I got my braids so early well, not even early. I got my braids at like the 9-month mark, and I really should have waited to get my braids or whatever. It's one of those things where it's really like you don't know, because you're in that baby watch period of time, so anything can go down, you know what I'm saying? And so it is what it is. But I was taking my braids down, and as I was getting closer to the end, it took me like 3 hours to take my braids down. So the first 2 hours I was cool. The last hour of me taking my braids down, I had started experiencing some cramping, but the cramping was not in my legs, which it usually is, and it wasn't in my, like, higher up in my stomach or anything like that. It was low. It was really low, like where her head is and stuff like that. So I started experiencing cramping, and it lasted for the remainder of the movie, so about another hour or whatever. So no, yeah, so it lasted for about an hour. So once the movie was up, I got up, and you know, it was a lot of pressure or whatever, but it wasn't abnormal pressure, because I had been experiencing pressure for a long time, because she had already been in position for a while. But I'm grateful for that as well. And so I used the bathroom or whatever, and I wanted to say something to my husband then about me feeling like I was cramping, but I was just like, I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to, I'm for real, y'all, because y'all know we try everything. So I was just like, I don't really want to get him excited or nothing like that, or get myself excited and put those thoughts in my head if it's not the real thing. So I didn't say anything. So I went upstairs. So movie was over, used the bathroom, went upstairs, and did I get on my ball? Oh, so I was like, okay, I'm about to take a shower. So I was still cramping. So when I got in the shower, the cramps didn't stop. They did not stop. So I was like, I think this is it. Like, I kid you not, I was like, I think this is it. And again, cramping for me, or something happening for me, was big, because like, when I say y'all, nothing like, you know how people be experiencing Braxton Hicks, people be experiencing this, people be experiencing that, like it'd be so much stuff that people, you know, experience. I am telling you, I had such a different pregnancy. I had such a different last month, 9th month, 10th month, that, you know, like I truly did, like, no Braxton Hicks, no contractions, no nothing. No nothing. So for me to feel period cramps, I was like, this is something. Like I said, I got in the shower, nothing. It did not stop. It's, you know, it kept going. And I remember reading something like, if you get in the shower, if you change positions, if you lay, you know, whatever, and it stops, it's not real. So Braxton Hicks just die. But if it, you know, if it continues, it's the real thing, and it continued. I still didn't say nothing. So then, what did I do after that? So long story short, because like, if you watch the vlog, you already know all this. So long story short, I got on my yoga ball. I didn't know what to do. I did not know what to do. So I got on my yoga ball, was on that, and I finally, so fast forward, it's like 10 o'clock now, and I experienced a contraction for the first time. Never experienced this before, y'all. Experienced a contraction for the first time. And I think it's one of those things where you just know. And I asked, like, family members, friends who've already, you know, have kids, like, how does it feel? How will you know? And they always told me, like, you gonna know. And I hated the answer, because I'm a very, like, I just like to know stuff, you know what I'm saying? And so everybody was just like, you'll know. Trust me, you'll know. It's not bad, but you'll know. It felt like I was in shock. But like, this is like this, and then stop or whatever. And so I finally told Avery, blah blah. So I said all this to say, I was in early labor for 12 hours, y'all. When you read about people that say they were in early labor for a day, 2 days, believe them. They're not BSing. You can also read things where people say they were in early labor for 2 or 3 hours, You can also read things where they say that people were in labor, early labor, and didn't know they were in early labor. All of those things can be true. So don't feel like this is a definite and this is not. No, everything can be true. I was in early labor, for 12 hours. It started at 10 p.m. on Saturday. I was in early labor from 10 p.m. Saturday all the way until Sunday around like 10 p.m. Kid you not. Is that 12 or 24? Hold on, wait. Saturday. That's a whole day. What I'm talking about? It started Saturday night, and then I'm looking at the clock because I'm trying to figure out, remember when she was born. Yeah, so from 10 p.m. Saturday up until 10 p.m. Sunday, I was in early labor. A whole 24 hours, y'all. I was saying 12, but a whole 24 hours. Kid you not. I got to the hospital at 3 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. Yes. And I was only 2 centimeters dilated. 70% effaced, and like I think a negative. I forgot what number negative I was. 1, 2, 3. I forgot. They let us walk for 2 hours, and then they were like, my doctor was like, well, technically she wasn't my doctor, but she was just the doctor on call. But she was real cool with my doctor and my midwife, and she was just like, I'm gonna see if you progress to 4 centimeters within the next 2 hours. You can walk the halls of labor and delivery. If you don't progress, I want you to go home, and I want you and your husband to be intimate so that can help soften your cervix and stuff like that. She was like, if you can't do that, you could do other things, X, Y, and Z. So when I heard her say that, I was like, no, I'm going to push to be 4 centimeters before we leave. I end up not being 4 centimeters. I end up going like another 1.5 centimeters, but I didn't hit 4. So I was bummed about it, but they checked me again at 7. They checked me again at 7 a.m. So yeah, we were in triage for it's I'm trying to give y'all the accurate times or whatever, like timestamps and stuff like that. But I do know that we were discharged or told to go home and continue early labor at home. So we left at like 7 something, got breakfast with the whoop. When I went home to continue being in early labor, the contractions had got intense. They had got intense. I did eat, and I did have some sleep throughout the contractions or whatever, but they had got intense. And I really didn't want to go home because I was like, how am I gonna know? Because the thing about it was that it's not like my contractions were intense and that they weren't coming back to back to back to back. I just was not dilating. And so my question is like, if I'm not basing this off of my contractions, what am I basing this off of? Because I'm contracting, but I'm not dilating. And so that really was the whole storyline for my whole labor and delivery. Like, I was having hella contractions the entire day and a half that I was in labor. Early labor plus active labor. I just took forever to dilate, like forever. And when I got back to the hospital, so I told my husband, I said, we're gonna go back to the hospital. It was 7. I said, I'm gonna be at the hospital by 12. I said, I'm gonna give myself that. And I was just like, I'm gonna make them keep me, because like I'm not about to be at home going through this, not knowing if I'm dilated or not. We got I think we pulled up at the hospital at 12:30. We got here, they told me that I was indeed 4 centimeters. Like, everybody was so proud of me, the doctors and nurses and stuff. They were so happy for me. Like, great job, what did you do? I said, me and my husband went home and went to sleep. We went to sleep because we knew she was coming, and we were exhausted because I had never gotten any sleep. Like, I was just running off of just, I don't know. So I had not gotten any sleep. It was crazy. And of course, you know, he's worried about me, so he's not getting a lot of sleep. So it was like crazy. So I said, we went home and went to sleep for 3 hours. And I contracted in between the 3 hours. I took a shower, lotioned my body, prepare myself to go into, like, prepare myself to be in labor, for labor. So we came back, I was 4 centimeters. They did admit us. I stayed 4 centimeters. We got back at 12:30. Y'all, I kid you not, I stayed 4 centimeters from 12:30 until like 10 p.m. Which is why I say I was in early labor for that long, because they did not consider that active labor. 4 centimeters was not active labor. But I was having hella contractions. So I did get the epidural. I'm happy I got the epidural when I got the epidural, because when I got it, I was able to rest a little bit. A lot. I was able to rest, but I did notice that the epidural was not as effective on my right side. So we had to do a lot of flipping and moving me around to let gravity do its thing. And we had enough time to play around with it so that I would be ready to push, is what I'm saying. So I'm happy I did get the epidural. When I got the epidural, like, as soon as they admitted me, and I was in the room, I think I was in the room for about 30 minutes, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get it. Also because I didn't think I was gonna labor that long. Like, I just knew for sure that once I got the epidural that I was gonna just start dilating out of nowhere, even though it's no correlation. I just thought that. So they would be like, okay, we're coming back to check you at this time. I was still 4 centimeters. I was very nervous. I got nervous at one point because I was like, I'm still 4 centimeters. And, so they did start me on Pitocin. They also inserted something like a little long tube that tells them when I am dilating or something like that. They added in there. Of course, they got to put the catheter, blah, blah, blah. So around 10 p.m., they come in and they're like literally saying the same thing that I had been saying all day. They came in and were like, it's not your contraction. Like, they was like, you will have 4 contractions back to back to back. Like, I was having contractions like back to back to back, like no breath, like no nothing. And they were like, you're having contractions back to back to back. You're just not dilating. So, like I said, they did insert something, and I went from 4 to 9 centimeters between, she was born at 2:06. So from 10 till 12. So about 10 to 12 is when I went from 4 to 9 centimeters. And then at 12, they came in and they were like, okay, you're at a 9. At that point, I knew her birthday was not going to be June 11th. So I was like, that's a bummer. I also couldn't believe that I was still in labor, that I still had not reached 10. I just could not believe that I was at 4 for that long. And then eventually they came in at like 10, and then from 10 until 1:45, I didn't hit 10 centimeters until like 1:30 a.m. I started pushing at 1:45. I know because the clock is like dead in front of you, and I was thinking to myself like, how long do you think you're gonna push? At this point, guys, I am like gone with the wind, fabulous. I'm gone with the wind, baby. What that means is the medicine was medicine. Okay, so I wasn't too sure if I could push because I was like, I'm a little loopy right now. Like, I could not keep my eyes open. I know I look drugged. I know I did or whatever. But I started pushing at 1:45, and she was out by her head was out by like 2 o'clock or something like that, and then her whole body or whatever, I don't know. But my overall experience is that overall I had a decent labor delivery. Like I said, I was in early labor for a long time. I technically did not hit active labor until 10 p.m. the next day. And then so I was in active labor 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. I was in active labor for 4 hours compared to the 24 hours of me being in early labor. And I was in do I think I could have done it without medication? I don't know. Possibly, considering like if I would not have been like, let's say I would have been let's say I was in early labor for like 4 hours. I possibly could have done it. But because I was in early labor for a whole day, I was over it. My body was tired. I was starving. I was over it. So again, I'm very happy I went ahead and got the epidural when I got the epidural. Yeah, she came out. I was really nervous about like how I would feel after birth. But I felt tired, but I felt good. It was just like a relief when she finally came out. Like like I felt like my body did that. They also had to give me a muscle relaxer because again, I could still feel things on my right side in different parts of my right side. So they gave me a muscle relaxer, and the muscle relaxer put me to sleep, and I needed it because still being able to feel on one side but not the other, you still able to feel. So I was tired. I was tired of feeling the pain. I was tired of everything like that. So the muscle relaxer just made me go fall into a little sleep, and when I woke up, I was in active labor. Yeah. So that's what happened or whatever. I think from my story, trust your body, trust your instincts. Like legit, everything that I had said from the time I came in at 3 a.m., everything that I said was spot on. You can ask my midwife, you can ask the people in the room, was spot on. And I was just persistent, like, oh, come back. No, I'm coming back. I told myself, like, I'm coming back at 12 o'clock. I don't care what you say. I don't care. Because I knew what I was feeling. And even though it's my first time feeling it, I was like, now I've read enough and watched enough to know that if your contractions are back to back to back to back, this baby's supposed to be here. This baby's supposed to be coming, something. So I was like, for me to not be dilating, something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? I need a little boost. But trust and believe, once I get that boost and these contractions keep going, it's gonna happen. And so that was that. But she came out, y'all. I was so nervous. I did have the shakes for a little while. We were not able to record because they were just like, no recording, no pictures and stuff until after baby's out. Oh my God. On top of that, y'all, why my water had broken, I didn't know. I had no idea that my water was broken that whole time. So I'm really grateful to God that she was okay. That everything just worked out or whatever. I did not have a big gush of water fluids come out. I do remember that the second time that we went to the hospital, right before we went to the hospital, right before 12, I did get up around 11. I woke up at 11, and when I got up, I did feel like a like a little like a little pop. But because I had been losing my mucus plug all day, and because I had been having bloody show all that day, I didn't think nothing of it. And then I went straight to, and then I had to pee as well. So we are 100% sure that's when it happened, because when I got up from the bed, like as soon as I stood up, I felt it. But again, it was not no big gush. It literally just felt like some of my mucus fluid was coming out in my underwear or whatever. And so I did stand up, and my husband can testify. I did stand up. I said, either some more milk. I said, oh my God, babe, either my water just broke or some more of my mucus plug just fell out. And he was like, are you sure? And I said, yeah, I think I just felt something. But then when I went to the bathroom and I started peeing or whatever, and I looked in the toilet, it was clear. Like, it was a little bloody showing, and it was clear. So I was like, oh, it was just more of my mucus plug or something like that, I said. And he was like, oh, okay. Y'all, why when these people came in, when I finally get to active labor, to get me to active labor, so right at that 10 o'clock mark, they were like, yeah, we decided that we're just gonna go ahead and break your water, X, Y, and Z. Girl, they went up there, ain't no water. They was like, did you experience, fluid, And I was like, no. And I was like, are you sure? Like, the first time you came or anything like that? And I started thinking back, and I was like, oh my God. I said, the second time, I said, right before we came the second time, I said, like, either it's my mucus plug, some more of my mucus plug, or I said my water's, I said, but I was expecting this big old gush. I was expecting, the waterworks, and I said it wasn't that. And they were like, yeah, it could be this or it could be that. All in all, y'all, as far as like active labor, I had good active labor. Like, it went just like that, in my opinion. My active labor went just like that. Because when they came in and told me it was time to push, they're like, yeah, you're 10 centimeters. When they came in, I was like, do you want me to do what? I was ready, but I was like, it was hard for me to wake up because I told y'all that I was high. So, it was just early labor for me, y'all. It was just early laboring for me that was like, ain't no way. A whole day, y'all. Like, a whole day. And imagine your contractions being like 4 minutes apart for an entire day. Like, who does that? Like, who? Yeah. But anyway, my baby girl came out. She's perfect. I love her. Everything is good. Thought she was about to sneeze. And I just wanted to really come on here and just let you guys know about my experience. My nurses in labor delivery were amazing. Shout out to them. Then they moved us 2 floors up to, like, after you had your baby. I don't know what this floor called. Maternity, postpartum. I don't know. And it's okay, but they kind of aggy up here. And because she was a little smaller, she was 6 pounds, but technically she was supposed to be like 7 pounds, 7+ pounds, because she was overdue. She had to get her sugar taken for a whole 24 hours. So she did that. She did really well. She passed all of her tests. So yeah, y'all, we will be discharged tomorrow. I'm so ready to be home, and just get her acclimated with our house and just our family, Noah and Parker. And so yeah, y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if I had to, like, on a scale from 1 to 10, rate my experience, I would probably say like a 6. I had some really, really good high moments, and then I had some moments where I was very uncomfortable. I was very, very uncomfortable. One being when I got my service check the second time I went to the hospital. The nurse was so rough for me, y'all. The first time we came, heaven sent. I'm talking about, and I say heaven sent, like I really want to get her something before we leave. You know how you make your nurses something, like even though she was like my midwife for that little period of time, just everything. I mean, giving me advice, telling me like just everything. But when we came back, because day shift had technically started when we came back the second time, those just rough, just extremely rough, and 0 out of 10. Don't recommend. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. Um, I'll definitely do it again. I'll definitely do it again. Cause sometimes, like a person's labor and delivery will literally make a woman say never again. But I'll do it again. You know, I know what to do this time around. I know what not to do this time around. And then I also know that when your baby's ready to come, that's when that baby gonna come. Sometimes it's nothing you can do to get them to come any faster. Trust and believe it. But yeah, y'all, thank y'all so much for watching, and until next time, peace.